Move the right stick up and down to make a vertical slice, and left and right to slice parallel to the ground.
Oh, now this is more like the
Move
Raiden
stick
we
in a
know and
circle
love.
to do a rotating cut. Push it forward to lunge and strike. You can guard with your blade if you have the L1 button pressed down. You should be able to deflect a bullet or two.
Looks like it's time for Jack to let her rip.
So yeah, this is like one of the most memorable parts of this entire game, when you get Olga's high-frequency blade, and obviously it starts the trend of Raiden being a cool guy with a cool sword, which will be basically his entire characterization going forward. Although his blocking animation looks really funny when you run with it, it's so good. You can also do this in first person, but it's basically useless. You have to, like, be, you know, right next to a person in order to hit them. So it's really not worth doing it in first person. They give you plenty of time to practice here, but I do kind of wish that you could do something to kind of make it go a little bit quicker, you know? We do get one of my favorite Snake lines in this. I think it's this cutscene. Yeah, it should be this cutscene.
Come on, time to go. If you run out of ammo, you can have mine.
You got enough?
Absolutely. Infinite ammo.
I love that so much.
Wait up, Snake.
What?
That also means that the Meryl ending is canon, not the Otacon ending from Metal Gear Solid 1.
Snake, have you ever enjoyed killing someone?
What are you talking about?
I'm not sure. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between reality and a game.
Diminished sense of reality, huh? VR training will do that.
No, it was field training when I was a kid. I lied, Snake. I have more field experience than I can remember. It's not VR that's doing this to me.
Raiden,
The only thing
we
VR
don't
does to
carry
me is
guns
make me
take
want to
people
vomit.
down. We're not here to help some politician either.
You can say that because you're a legend, a hero. I'm Jack the Ripper, a dirty reminder of a terrible mistake.
Legends don't mean a whole lot. I was just a name to exploit. Just like you.
People will remember only the good part, the right part of what you did.
There's no right part in murder. Not ever. And we're not in this to make a name for ourselves.
Then what are you and Otacon fighting for?
A future? You can stop being part of a mistake. Starting now.
What am I? What am I supposed to do?
Find something to believe in, and find it for yourself. And when you do, pass it on to the future.
Believe in what?
That's your problem. Come on.
Snake, Raiden.
Otacon, you all right?
Yeah, so are all the hostages.
That's good news.
How's everything on your end?
All right for now, but there is something.
What?
The Colonel's last transmission was strange.
Just strange.
Strange?
Just strange,
How?
not like
Just
completely
strange.
out there wackadoo.
No idea.
Interference?
I don't know.
Where is this colonel?
I don't know. I've never met the man, actually.
I'll dig around.
Thanks. I owe you one.
If there's anything else, call me on the codec. I might be able to help. The frequency is 141.12.
So this is, like, again, iconic section of the game. From here on out, it's all smooth sailing. I love the ending of this game, as I've said multiple times. Now, it's you and Snake versus a whole bunch of these guys. You could theoretically just take them out, but you've been given a new sword. You gotta use it, man. I remember back when I was, like, watching all those, like, DSP videos of him, like, being really bad at games. He got to this part of the game and just was shooting people. Like, he never used the gun, or he never used the sword. Like, why would you've been given a cool sword? Use the sword. If you play this part using just a gun, you're a little weird in my opinion. But yeah, this part rules.
You all right?
You know, the sword controls pretty good, actually. It controls fine, as Snake explained a little while ago. It controls with the right stick. The only thing that is not super responsive, I would say, is the, like, twirling attack, where you have to do a circular motion in with the right stick. You'll occasionally do, like, a swipe to the right or to the left before you get the attack out. So most likely the enemy is going to die before you can do the spinning attack, as I am showing right now. I'm getting very frustrated. I just want to twirl attack a guy. But I think that might be intentional. I don't think it's just, like, wonky controls. I think that's actually how it's meant to be. The just straightforward stab thrust attack is probably the best attack. It just kills most enemies in, like, one hit.
Raiden, about this colonel of yours. I found out where he is.
Where?
Inside Arsenal.
What?
I've checked out all the possibilities, but I keep coming back to Arsenal. It isn't a relay point, it's the origin of the signal. And the encryption protocol it uses is exactly the same as that of Arsenal's AI, the so-called GW.
What the hell does this mean?
I think it means you've been talking to an AI.
That's impossible.
The kernel probably isn't GW per se. GW was most likely stimulating cortical activity in the dormant part of your brain through signal manipulation of your own nanomachines. The kernel is, in part, your own creation, cobbled together from expectations and experience.
That's crazy!
But it's probably the truth. The virus may be starting to affect GW, which would explain the kernel's behavior.
It was all an illusion? Everything I've done so far?
Raiden,
Snake, what's happening around here?
I don't know. What I do know is that you're standing right here in front of me. Not an illusion. Flesh and blood.
Huh?
It's your call. You can drop this if you want.
No, I can't do that. Let's go.
This is, I would assume, another reason why Raiden was selected as the main character instead of Snake. If this was happening to Snake, there's kind of a disconnect, like, yeah, we know that Snake is fine. But it's happening to a new character that we've never seen before. You can kind of go, yeah, there's some weird shit going on here.
They've got Rose.
What?
Rose is being held in the holds.
It's a trap.
Rose!
Raiden, get a grip.
But Snake...
It's a trap. Since the Colonel doesn't exist, there's no way he can take Rose hostage.
Yeah, you're right.
I am right.
Okay. Does Rose exist?
Don't be weird. She's your...
What if I've never really met her?
What?
If the Colonel is something that I partly dreamt up, then everything I remember about her could be...
Don't jump to conclusions.
You and Otacon are the ones that say the Colonel never existed.
Raiden.
Is this what Olga was talking about?
So I will say I was a little bit confused, like, the very first time, and even a couple times, like, after I played this game. I was a little confused about what Rose, like, what's the deal with Rose, but it's only after we escape, like, after Rose calls us when we're chained up to that thing, that was Rose, but all the other times we just heard her was, like, an AI Rose, just like the Colonel AI. So the one that said, "I'm carrying our child," was not the real Rose. So here we go, another pretty cool part. This is just us versus some more soldiers. Again, why would you ever want to use anything other than the sword? We've been given it. You do want to make sure you're not hitting Snake, because he can die. And I think, I don't remember, but I think it works kind of like Luis in Resident Evil 4. Oh, I legitimately thought that was an enemy. But yeah, I think it's kind of like Luis, where if you hurt him too many times, he'll just say, "Raiden, you suck ass," and then he'll just shoot you to death. I think. Not 100% certain on that. Oh fuck, I died. Oh no, it's okay. So yeah, this is another great part of the game. This is the whole part, from when you enter the Jejunum until now, is like the Psycho Mantis part of this game. Where it just really fucks with your sense of, like, what is happening? What is real, what isn't real? I would say in some ways it is better than the Psycho Mantis part, because it's more of a prolonged area. And there are a couple times where legit I'm like, oh, I think I just died. But then I'll look and it'll say, oh, fission mailed, and I'm still playing, obviously. Whereas Psycho Mantis, he just does the Hideo thing. And, you know, I know enough to be like, oh, that's just the game. But there are a couple times where I get fooled and I'm like, oh, I think I just died. But yeah, this part rules. And the story's gonna get even wackier from here on out, which is what I really appreciate about this game. It's just the middle of this game that I really don't care for. It feels like it's kind of plotting. It feels like it's just kind of wasting time until we get here. It's the tanker and then this bit that I just absolutely am in love with.
Fortune.
It's been a long wait, Solid Snake. The root of all my sorrows.
What?
2 years ago, you killed my father. That was the beginning of hell for us. Everyone I love has been taken from me one by one, and no matter how hard I try, I can't follow them. An endless nightmare. The only thing we live for is to see it end. Our wait is almost over.
You can't be serious about firing the nuke.
Since no one can kill me, I may as well kill everyone I can. Starting with you, Solid Snake.
Damn! Looks like I'm today's pick. You go on ahead. You want eternal rest? I've got it right here.
What are you gonna do? Bullets can't get near her.
I'll think of something. There's no such thing as a witch.
You think you can kill me?
I don't know what your group's been through, but let's get one thing clear. I didn't kill your father.
Do you think anyone believes your lies?
Raiden, get out of here!
Jack, I've been watching how you fight. It looks like you've remembered the way you used to kill in the old days. Or is it one of the S3 plan's proud achievements?
What are you talking about?
It came as a complete surprise when Ocelot discovered the S3 data from GW. Not a bad idea, though. Using fire to fight fire, creating the perfect assassin to retire Solid Snake's brother. S3 stands for Solid Snake Simulation. It's a development program to artificially reproduce Solid Snake, the perfect warrior. The result is a Foxhound Commando. When Foxhound no longer exists, a simulated Solid Snake shaped by VR regimen. Sound like someone you know, Jack? I'm sorry to see you reduced to one of the Patriots' puppets. But I've made use of you, and their plan too. Solid Snake's sudden appearance, your arrival. It was obvious the Patriots were among my ranks. I had to smoke out the agent before the mission entered the final phase. You came in handy, as bait. Jack, those days during the Civil War were as real as they come. Every day was absolute, split between life and death. You ran from it, and now you've been led back to war by something less than real. No more games, Jack. At least you know. There's no reason to keep you alive now. I've given you a worthy opponent, at least. But now, you should die as the little Jackie boy I once knew.
So here we go. We got another really cool section of this game where we are fighting a crap ton of Metal Gear Rays all at once. What you want to do here is aim for their knees and then aim for their heads, and if you are able to smash a rocket into their face while their mouth is open, you'll do like crazy damage. And that is the best way to finish this part quickly. So their health will continue to respawn like as we do this part. We have to deplete the health bars of, I think it's somewhere between like 5 and 6 Metal Gears. This is much easier than the fight in Metal Gear Solid 1, which was always like kind of a part of the game that I didn't love. I liked the Rex fight, but there were some times where it would get on my nerves because it felt unfair sometimes. This is way easier, which is a knock against this. I wish this was much more difficult. But it's also really, really memorable. Like having Raiden just take on all of these Metal Gears. Also, I am getting very bad luck here. What ideally you want to do is stand in one place, shoot them there, and then shoot them in the mouth. Thank you, finally. But since they're shooting rockets at me, I have to keep moving, which means I have to do what I'm doing here. Shoot them in the leg, move, and then shoot them in the face. I almost said the mouth and the face, and I almost said mouth. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. It's kind of difficult to hit both simultaneously because you've got to avoid the rockets. I also wish that this had a unique theme. Because if I'm not misremembering literally 5 minutes ago, I think it's the same exact theme that plays when you're fighting the dudes with the swords. So yeah, that does massive damage. Thankfully, it does keep you pretty well stocked up. Like, if you have run out of Stinger missiles or health, you can just go around this area and pick up ammo. You can pick up rations, but it's not as common as the Stinger missiles themselves. And this is probably one of my favorite big dick moves that Metal Gear Rising does, is that I'm going to go ahead and consider this the final boss of the game, because the actual final boss of the game is very, very simple. So I would consider this the actual final boss of the game. But, the first time that we play as Raiden, his final boss, quote-unquote final boss, is an army of Metal Gear Rays. You're at the end of the game, this should be the highest difficulty, and then the first boss that you fight, not even 5 minutes into Metal Gear Rising, is a Metal Gear Ray. Like, that's so cool. I still will always love that Metal Gear Rising did that, and I wish that we could get a Metal Gear Rising 2, for the love of God. One of the greatest action games ever made. This is also such a cool location for a fight. It looks like we're in, like, cyberspace or something. The end of this game kind of gives me a little bit of, like, Evangelion vibes. Like, it looks like we're fighting in the Geofront or something. I don't know. And this is also where Kojima gets, I think I mentioned this in the beginning, but I love the fact that the Rays can scream like monsters. This is so clearly like Kojima being a kaiju fan of like Godzilla and Ultraman and stuff like that. He just wants to put a cool monster in his games. And you know what? You did it, Kojima. You did put a bunch of cool monsters in your games. Rex screams, and you know, he has kind of a more metallic scream. But Ray has just straight up, like, he just has a roar. Like, straight the hell up. And we love it. We truly do love it. I wouldn't say this is hard, as long as you keep hitting just the legs, then the mouth, you should be able to do this fine. The only thing that I could see being a problem is if you come into this with, like, little to no rations. That would be the only big problem, because like I said, they don't spawn rations in this area quite as frequently as they spawn ammo. And that could be really the only kind of negative thing here, but when I get to the end of Metal Gear Solid, I'm always like, okay, this Ray fight can go, this Rex fight could go one of two ways. I'm either going to be really good at it and do it the first time, or I'm going to be stuck here for like a half hour. The Ray fight is like, I know I'm always going to be able to do that just fine.
Decided to show you.
Olga, don't do this! They'll know!
I'll hold them off. Give you time to get away.
What about you? This is suicide!
Your nanomachines, they're transmitting your vital signs to the Patriots. If you die, my child dies. You understand?
The child.
I see. So that's why you sold your troops out to me. So many dead, and they all died trusting you! Weren't they your comrades?
No, not just comrades. Family. I know I'm going to help, but at least my child.
I applaud your attitude. If you have a death wish, I'll be happy to accommodate you. See you in hell!
It's kind of cool seeing them talk about her daughter, or her kid, we don't know it's a daughter yet, going that since Sonny would go on to be like probably one of my favorite characters in 4 and Rising.
Live! You have to!
Olga!
Enjoy the show, Jack. Let's pick up where we left off. What's going on? What's wrong with it?
AI, GW, it's out of control.
What?
Cascade throughout the neural network. I can't shut it down.
What happened?
Maybe some kind of virus.
The Patriots?
I don't know.
Ocelot, what have you been up to?
It's too late. Arsenal's system control is going haywire. It's on an emergency ascent course.
Stupid machines! Damn the Patriots! You still have some use.
I've captured Snake.
Snake?
Bring him in.